Hello and
welcome back!
Today we're doing a review of The Amazing Digital Circus episodes 4 through 6. So last time we talked about episodes 1 through 3 and I said that things felt a little off. Yeah, that was cute because episodes 4 through 6 take that feeling and crank it up to existential crisis with a side of minimum wage trauma. So let's jump right into this. In episode 4, Fast Food Masquerade, they asked the real question, what if your personal hell was a minimum wage hellscape? And well, Kane commits to being the worst boss alive and forces everyone to work a shift at Sputsy's because nothing says adventure like minimum wage trauma. Gangle becomes the manager and immediately turns into that supervisor who says, we're all family, while actively destroying morale. The job is non-stop frying, serving, and dealing with NPC customers, who in the best case make no sense, and at the worst, make impossible orders like the Gloink Queen, ordering basically all the kids' meals for her Gloink kids. But even Jack starts losing it because he can't cause chaos, he's just bored. Ragatha gets hit with stupid sauce and goes completely unfiltered, turning the shift into a mix of babysitting and group therapy. Pomni then realizes that the customers are basically brain reset NPCs when Gummy Goo shows up again, leading to a very awkward, why are you looking at me like that situation. And instead of action, this episode just commits to burnout, existential dread, and pretending you're okay. So yeah, fast food, but make it animated. Then we finally hit episode 5, and that's where the show goes, oh, you're enjoying this? That's nice. The gang comes back from what looks like a swamp nightmare. Pomni immediately eats the floor, and Zubul tells Kane that the adventure which he handles by not handling it at all and spiraling only to glitch and snap into everything's fine mode. He tries giving options, but they all flop, so Zubul pulls out the suggestion box, and we get a speed run of adventures. Jax's ideas get shut down fast. Poacher's Paradise, yikes, and President Pomni, which somehow ends with Gangle blowing up the Oval Office. That's not a sentence I thought that I'd say, but here we are. Incredible. Then we go to Gangle's Adventure, which is a cute slice-of-life anime. I really love seeing the gang in 2D. It's so pretty. It's just a shame that Jack pressured Gangle to vote against it. Then it goes on to the next adventure, where they enjoy a picnic while stargazing, and this is where Jax let his guard down finally while talking to Pomni and Ragatha. Pomni asks him genuinely if he has any friends, and girl, how does she not realize that Jax's only friend is her? But anyway, this is where I went from moderate indifference to Ragatha to outright dislike. When she told Pomni not anymore, I felt so bad for Jax in that moment. I mean, sure, the guy's a jerk, but there's no reason to kick someone when they're already down. I mean, I thought Ragatha was supposed to be the nice one. Jack shrugs it off, but you can tell he broke for a moment. Then it pivots to Kane, who's kind of freaking out because they like the stargazing adventure, but they don't like his adventures. Poor guy, he tries so hard. And here is where we really see that Bubble is just Kane's inner voice. Bubble telling Kane that he should die, then immediately to throw a beach party. I mean, who hasn't had their inner monologue go from one emotional extreme to the other, right? Then there's the intermission time, and holy moly, that whole sequence was so pretty. Then we get to Zubul's adventure, which is just them hanging out at the bar, while Zubul makes drinks, and that's where we find out how Pomni got trapped in the circus, and a bit about Gangle, Zubul, and Ragatha, and we also find out that Jax is terrified of corn. Then they go to Ragatha's adventure, softball against their opposite selves, and they vote to make Jax wear a maid outfit, which is pretty funny and was really bold of Gangle to propose. And Ragatha ends up apologizing for bringing up what she said earlier, and that's when Jax's jokes stop, and you can tell it really hit him, but he promptly puts his mask back on. I think that's why he bullies Gangle so much. He sees a lot of himself in Gangle and tries his best to push that away. Sure, he's a jerk, but I can kinda understand him, even if he's extremely wrong. And just when you think it can't get more crazy, episode 6 is where things go from like 50 to 1,000. And Kane, feeling kinda defeated, tells them just to do whatever they want. but he eventually gives in the pressure and tries to give them a trust-building exercise, but that ends up failing. So Kane just gives them guns and has them team up against each other. They split into pairs, Pomni and Jax, Ragatha and Kinger, Zubul and Gingle. Pomni and Jax actually start bonding. Kinger casually reveals he can conjure stuff and gives Ragatha an extra life. And then Ragatha confronts Jax, saying that he's only getting close to Pomni to corrupt her, which, what? Even Jax is like, girl, be serious. Like, anyone with eyes can see that their friendship is genuine. And yeah, I can totally see why Jax got mad at her, because what the f***? You can really see that what Ragatha said hit a nerve, especially when Pomni shows up and he immediately throws the mask back on. Then the moment when Kinger and Ragatha talk. Oh, that was so wholesome. Kinger really is one of the best characters, despite being marked in the beginning as the crazy one. I really think he's probably one of the most mentally stable. Really, he earned his name here. Pomni and Jax end up going after Zubul and Gangle. Gangle gets out kinda quickly, but Zubul goes feral and knocks them both down to 1 life, and Pomni runs off, leaving Jax behind. That's when he starts spiraling a bit, seeing Kaufmo and Ribbit's doors, and he realizes he's actually starting to care about Pomni, and immediately starts panicking about it. Pomni and Jax manage to corner Zubul and kill them. Then Pomni, in celebration, gives Jax a hug. He aggressively pushes her off of him, and there's a beat of awkwardness. So to break the silence, Pomni jokes that now one of them will have to betray the other. But Jax is indifferent and tells her, sure, whatever, that she can shoot him, which ends up in them having a fight. Pomni asks him why he's being weird because she thought that they were friends, and that's when Jax full on breaks and says that they were never friends and that she and the rest of the gang are just his playthings. Like, for real, who is this dumb rabbit trying to fool? Jax is just weird about relationships because of Cosmo and Rip. And then there were the favorite character awards where absolutely nothing bad happened. And by nothing bad happening, I mean Jax almost abstracted and Kane glitched harder than that time I realized I was trying to put the kettle in the fridge. So what do you think of episodes 4 through 6? Let me know in the comments below and tell me your theories because I need to talk about this. Because trust me, it somehow only gets worse from here. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, all that good stuff. Also, go check out my husband's channel, Cosas Partener. It's a Spanish-speaking channel with gaming how-tos, reviews, unboxings, and more. I'll leave the links down in the description below. And well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!
Goodbye.